be?
You mean to say guidelines probably?
Guidelines or any message that you would have. Why should they come to
Yeah. Got it. I got it. So, we don't have cohort systems. We just have a word of mouth way of, spreading about our good works. Anybody is welcome to step into our center, see the facilities, talk to our existing startups or even graduated startups. What kind of facilities are there? What kind of convenience and comfortability that they will get, even from the host. Or I have to thank the director, CCMB, because the complete staff, the scientists, they provide a lot of infrastructure, not only in the AIC premises, but also in the main campus. Vinay sir. And even the previous director, Dr. Rakesh Mishra. So that kind of support, then when we have the advice for all the student innovators, faculties, and also the startups, just to step in, talk to us. When you open up with a dialogue, the conversation, then only you will come to know what we have, what they have in their mind and heart, because they may be having brilliant ideas, but they may not be having confidence. Unless until you actually talk to us, Dr. Madhu and myself, we are having some technical background as well. And also we enable a lot of startups and students and faculty towards entrepreneurship. So if the people can come and talk to us, whether their ideas are feasible and scalable, we can at least guide them and connect to the relevant people and plan their businesses under pre-incubation model. Then they can actually raise funds with the small data that they generated. And then they can actually incubate with us and raise more money, go for scale up. They can graduate. So this is one quick advice that I can give.
Can I say this to our viewers? Any of them, they are biotech startup companies. If you have, you have Ramji Patela here. If you have any opportunities, any clarifications, any questions, any guidance, any mentoring support, funding support, anything that you need, you can reach out to Dr. Ramji Patela at AICCCMB. Ramji, I've said it out there. Now you can't backtrack. I can't say, no, don't give my contact.
See, today itself, I responded to a couple of LinkedIn people. They already send emails with their proposals. So generally, I spend good time in LinkedIn so that, I can engage with a lot of students, school students, college students, faculty, startups, scientists, across the domains, even space technology people, they would like to miniaturize biological systems under zero gravity, how this will work. So they can come and work with us. So at least we can help them guided, to the relevant stakeholder in the ecosystem. So please contact me anytime.
I saw your facilities last time I visited, and I saw the infrastructure, state-of-the-art labs, and I think anybody would be fortunate enough to get a chance to incubate themselves or get incubated here.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else that, Ramji, you would like to share from your end that I may have missed covering in my questions?
Yeah, I think most of the questions that you asked are very much relevant, and we covered all aspects, especially for the CSR support that we get from SPMCIL. This journey continues where we are also putting up different CSR proposals, not only to SPMCIL, but to other agencies to focus on emerging technologies and some of the breakthrough areas, if you can say, be it microphysiological systems, where how to reduce animals in preclinical trials. So that's
we were
where
talking about it today afternoon.
Yes. So now HDFC Parivartan grant that we got, we actually try to address that grant towards these areas, organ on a chip kind of models, where we can screen drug molecules or any other formulations, something like that. And again, another theme is smart proteins, alternative protein sources. So similarly, what I'm trying to tell here is that we are actually trying to partner with larger corporates who can actually show some interest in co-development with CCMB scientists or our startups to build something that can actually create larger impact through CSR or non-CSR means. So those areas can be covered well. And of course, the journey continues with all of your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you once again for giving your time. Thank you, viewers, for staying with us. This is Shelly Kapoor on covering this event on behalf of AICCCMB, event coverage courtesy MyStartuptv. Thank you so much.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartuptv.
Hello viewers, I'm Shelly Kapoor and I'm currently at the COVID-TED Valedictory Tech Show, which is being organized or has been organized by ICCCMB. We have a very distinguished guest with us today who's been part of this entire journey and has been instrumental in hosting this tech show, Ritika Marampalli. Ritika is the head corporate relations with the ICCCMB. Ritika, very warm welcome.
Thank you, Shelly.
Ritika, my first question is, head for corporate relations, what exactly does your role entail?
Actually, I take care of the communications and all our branding activities. Primarily, I joined as the communications manager. So, but as the organization progressed, I also started handling a lot of the corporate relations. Basically, I'm handling a lot of our, administrative work and a lot of other works that we do with the corporates, especially like with CSR. So basically, it just grew into that. Also, I take care of the internal relations. So all of those things became a whole package, and it became a head of corporate relations.
Talk about either an example or a case study where an incubator such as yours and the corporate worked together to achieving a common goal, thereby creating a win-win for both.
Actually, there are plenty of these kind of examples. One that I can talk about is about ourselves. So we have a few companies with us which are established companies. Basically, those are into pharmaceuticals, but now they're also starting their own biotechnology department. So they have taken some space with us. They have curated a team here, and the teams work out of this particular incubation center. Now, although I may say that it is a collaborative effort, but in those ways, especially when you're talking about pharma companies or somebody who does not have their own R&D facility or does not have that kind of expertise, incubators like ourselves help them do these things. Then of course there are plenty of, like, if I talk about CCMB itself, like our parent organization. So the first pneumococcal vaccine that was developed in India by Shanta Biotech, that was developed as a collaborative project with CCMB.
Wow,
so
wonderful.
Yeah, so those kind of things happen a lot here. And of course, if you talk about the COVID times, primarily CCMB was one of the first organizations which was charged with taking care with identifying the virus, doing the test kits and all of those, validating the test kits. So AICCCMB also helped a lot in that. A number of companies, they validated their kits with us. We were also validating air purifiers, masks, all of PPE kits. So a lot of things we did in a collaborative effort with the industries in a sense, to make sure that their products are safe, one, and they're reaching the markets in time.
If all of this were to be explained to, let's say, a layman, right? And by this, I mean the collaboration between an incubator or a startup and the corporate. How would you describe the participation of the incubator and the participation of the corporate in this entire ecosystem? And is it encouraging? Are the corporates open to collaborations, and what is in it for them?
No, absolutely. See, we are world over, actually, this is being noticed that, one thing is that startups are very agile. They are very dynamic and they can immediately pivot. This is what COVID also taught us.
Because of their small size.
Yes, their small size, they can pivot easily. Second thing is that, especially when you talk about an organization, when it wants to set up its own R&D unit, wants to get into some new businesses, there are a lot more things that actually go into it. And the cost for that particular company to get into a new product line is so huge that most of the companies don't even want to try it, unless and until you're a big MNC like an HLL or a Procter & Gamble or something like that. You will have your own research units, but otherwise I know of companies here in India, large companies, which actually look at startups, to provide that initial, the ideation, the validations, and all of those things. And what they do is that they will try and buy it out. So the entire market is actually like, especially for startups, this is a very big exit. That their products get acquired. And I know of a very large Indian company which actually comes out with its own funding. It has its own venture fund and a big startup arm. It will only look at startups which align with their businesses. And I was a part of that particular project some 3 years ago, and I know that their new business that they're coming up with, they just recently launched it, and it's again a big game changer in the market, was because of the kind of startups that we also introduced them to, the startups that they invested in with us. So we know that these things are happening. And first, for a startup, of course, it's a win-win situation, because they're getting the money, they're getting the exit, and they are getting to do what they want to do. And for a corporate, it's a more agile and a more cost-effective way to get into new businesses.
Wonderful, thank you. Any gaps or challenges, and I'm sure there are some, in bridging the gap? Any gaps or challenges in bringing the startups and the corporates together?
It used to be a lot of challenge, but as the ecosystem is maturing, a lot of corporates are interested. A lot of corporates, are looking at this kind of situation, and they are looking at looking at startups in those ways. A lot of if I talk about some small corporates, even in infotech and all. They are now looking at startups, to support startups, maybe through some small monies. If they are not able to do by, funding them, some of them, with us, there's a company called Blaze as well. So, they are into data analytics. But they they have some CSR funds, and they're supporting startups, in healthcare, because they are good at analyzing data, and healthcare also brings out data. So they want to help the startups that ways. So in some way or the other, they are also looking at startups which align with their businesses or which are completely new. So everybody, I think, has started looking at that. And now as I know that, a lot of corporates also are, for their senior leadership, they're trying to bring in founders, like people who've been entrepreneurs before. That when you have a founder who's been an entrepreneur before, it opens up a whole new avenue, a whole new, horizon of, entrepreneurship, which brings a maturity within the organization to look at startups and for industrial collaborations with incubators. So that is a positive change that we are seeing. It's happening slowly, but it is happening, and it's good to see that.
So these are the changes that are happening. But if you were to, let's say, name the top 2 challenges, or even let's say the top most challenge that you have come across and witnessed in getting corporates and startups together, what is the top 2?
The topmost challenge, of course, is the licensing issues. So because basically a regulatory and by the time the companies finish their regulatory, they definitely get into patents and all, but how they approach a patent and how a company looks at a license is different. So there are a lot much more documentation that needs to be done from the startup side, which the corporates want. That is a gap that is there. And that is one of the primary reasons why a lot more deals are not happening. But this is one of the primary things that we see. The second challenge that I would say would be more, it's just negotiations. Sometimes, especially with entrepreneurs, there are a lot many things that have to go in. And if it is a single, founder company, these are challenges that startups need to address. But at the end of the day, every negotiation takes to 6 years to 6 months to about a year. It is a slow journey, but I think maturity is required from both the ends, which I think incubators like ourselves are trying to also address. We are helping these startups, see there are flaws early on, especially when it comes to team, because one of the things is that any company is not investing in the product, it is investing in the
people.
team. Yeah. So we try to work with the team as well, and yes, we are seeing a lot of maturity in those ways coming in about.
What would be your message to the corporates for collaborating with the AICCCMB?
So I do a lot of this, I go for a lot of outreach events, I go for a lot of networking events and all. And I also, so I see that, it's always a challenge, corporates want to understand, they are interested, but they want to understand how they can work. So I would just want to say that, let's start a dialogue. Because we cannot suggest something that you don't want, and you cannot expect something that we are not doing at all to get there. But let's start a dialogue, because we are, as I said, that we are more agile, we are flexible, and we can get you the things that we want. I have this mantra, like we keep on saying in our incubation center, we are like Hogwarts, ask and you will get it. So that is what my only message is, that if corporates are interested in working in biotechnology and life sciences, please let's start having a dialogue. We can start working on a project together.
You were there in the corporate earlier?
I was.
How many years in the corporate were you?
I think it was almost 8 years.
How different are you finding it in the startup ecosystem?
I kind of tell the startups that I would like the founders, if they have come from a structured corporate background, to only get into start inculcating those kind of disciplines into the
and processes.
Yes, because what happens if you look at if you think of a startup, you think of the founders coming in shorts, coming in at any time, start working in the night at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. It doesn't work, especially when you're trying to build a team. So your team, if you don't have discipline, your team is not going to have discipline, and you need to work on strict timelines. It is extremely important, one, for the confidence of the investor, and for your own product development. So I would really like to have those kind of these startups to start inculcating those kind of structures into their organization. I actually do do these sessions where we call in some HRs and everybody and tell them these are the things that you should try, and this is how you build your team, this is how you start put a timing for the whole team. We know that you want to work any hours, but it's better to have something. So that is something that I really want startups to do. And even in my own organization, I have put in some processes. Of course, as the team grows, there are a lot of labor issues and other compliances that we have to take care. So by default, you have to become a little more process oriented.
More around how are you finding the change?
Oh,
personally for yourself.
No, for personally, it was a very, very conscious decision from my side that I wanted to leave corporate, and I wanted to get into something like this, because even before I took the decision of that I wanted to quit my corporate job and then I wanted to get into something like this, I was already engaging with the ecosystem. I put in my own money to to do a project that I wanted to I just wanted to have something on my resume to show that demonstrate that I have done this. So yeah, it was a very conscious kind of a change for me. And I've been an entrepreneur from the age of 18. So this is something that is my baby. It's something that I take care of. I'm very, very possessive about it as well.
You find it more satisfying, gratifying?
Absolutely. This is like it's not a joke. When you say that love your what you do, and you'll never work a day. It's like that for me. So right now I'm in a very happy zone. Yes, there is a lot of stress. Absolutely, there's a lot of stress, but I enjoy it. And I'm very happy to say that no 2 days are the same for me. So, which is something very few people can say actually. So yeah, that's about it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ritika. Anything else that you would like to add from your end?
No, I think I've covered a lot. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much once again. This is Shelly Kapoor with Ritika at AICCCMB.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to MyStartup TV.
Hi, I'm Shelly Kapoor, and I'm at the COVID-TED Valedictory Tech Show organized by AICCCMB. Today I have a very special guest on the Thought Leader Show, Shri Vijay Ranjan Singh ji, Chairman and Managing Director, SPMCIL. First of all, very, very welcome.
Thank you.
I wanted to know, you spent a considerable amount of time today, which was very kind of you to spend that considerable amount of time today talking to the senior leadership of AICCCMB and the entire team, and they gave some of the wonderful presentations and updates and progress on the startups that are funded. I wanted to know, what are your initial impressions about the work that AICCCMB is doing?
First of all, I must congratulate I'm grateful to my previous predecessors who have identified this program and funded them. Because with last maybe 15-20 years of my association with the different PSUs, I have never heard that any PSU or any government company is helping some startups and giving funding under the CSR to some incubation center. And the work done by, I was told that 8 were selected, out of which 6 has come to a really commendable level. And 2-3 product, what they showed to me, it was really very heartening and very satisfying for me that whatever money we thought, maybe we are not directly serving to the community, but through startups, we are bringing some huge change in the life of the people. For example, they showed that how that elderly people, their fall can be protected, and you can think about it, and it's just analogous to the car balloon.
Absolutely.
how it comes out. It's really very nice. It was very heartening to see, like that small kit for which you don't need any hi-fi machinery, AC room, huge investment, just 90,000 rupees kit and 30-20 rupees per test. It's really very good, and for that I compliment the AIC team, CCMB, and all the persons, people like you who mentored them, and all the team, frankly speaking, who are directly or indirectly involved in doing away with their hurdles, whether it is regulatory or technical or financially or managerial issues.
Sir, so after knowing about these products and these startups, and you yourself said that you were impressed with some of the biotech products, where do you think is the youth of the country heading? Do you think we are almost on our way to make good, remarkable progress in the biotech startup and ready to take India to the next level? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Our India, we are not dearth of any talent. Only thing that who is going to identify and who is going to take them to a certain level. Like our Honorable Prime Minister always say about the Vishwaguru. We are the youngest population and technical people in India, the people who are passing out from the engineering background or medicine background, biomedical background. I'm sure that if right environment, right support is given at the appropriate level, India can become a role model to the entire world. And this local solution, what we are following till date, the technology and the device developed by the developed country. Now we are developing and we are giving some disruptive technology and small intervention. With our modest just 2.36 crore, if we can help the 8 startup, and then if they can taste, they have done in their trial run only lakh people, 15 lakh, 20,000 kit, 2,000 kit. You just think that if we are just a mini Ratna company, we are having very less fund for this CSR. If some big companies can come and then if they can support, it can change the entire world.
Absolutely. It is
At least
almost
India.
The success story is similar to us landing on Mars with the kind of budget that we did.
Yeah, exactly.
Chandrayaan, yeah. Wonderful. So, sir, continuing on the previous question and your thoughts, and wanting to ask you to expand on your thoughts for the last question, do you think India has gained visibility as the pharmacy of the world?
Yes. In my earlier stint, I was working as a private secretary to Minister of Fertilizer, Chemical and Pharmaceuticals. Then I came to know that every 3 tablets is consumed by any human being in the world, one is produced in India.
one out of every
Yes.
three is
Yes.
produced in India.
Produced in India. Whether it is a generic and mostly we are master in the generic medicine. So yes, we are the pharma of the world.
Wonderful. Spent considerable amount of time in your career, as a forest officer, and helping the tribal communities and all of that. And I'm sure that is how you picked up your love for photography during those stints. But it has come to my knowledge that you are a wildlife photography enthusiast, and you have some amazing photo clicks to your credit. Please do share some insight with us on your love for wildlife.
Today I may be a CMD of a security printing and minting company of the government
Country,
of India,
yeah.
of the country. But I started my career in a government setup as a forest officer.
Yes.
And I love nature, so as I wear my spectacles, I used to carry my camera. And I used to click photographs just for my satisfaction, because I thought that I was a privileged person. I worked in many national parks. Most of my time I have spent as a manager in the wildlife management area like national park, tiger reserve, where people used to pay money just for 2 hours safari, maybe thousands of rupees.
Yeah.
So yes, I have not clicked great photograph, but whatever it comes to my eyes, I used to click. And yes, I had, but it is not because if I share and if I can showcase and I compete with the other photographers, it is not good on my part, because the privilege which I get as a forest officer visiting the interior, not in only the interiors, anytime. Your tourists come just for 2-3 hours in the morning, 2-3 hours in the evening in certain area. But I had the entire forest as my regulatory, as my protection duty. I used to travel. Yes, I click, but I can show you privately, but I don't publish it. I don't show it to the Facebook, and I'm not posted anywhere, because I don't think that it is for that some publicity or thing. I do it for my satisfaction.
So is it just wildlife or
I
other
had
kind of photography?
No, landscape I had. I'm having around 140, 150 varieties of butterflies photographs.
Wonderful.
100 species of almost orchids, of wild orchids of Western Ghat. Apart from normal mammal, tiger, elephants, I have some rarest of rare photograph of otters, smooth-coated otters. So yes, I have, and some of them I lost in few years back, but still I have many.
I don't know if you know, but Ramji, after this interview, if we can interact, he is also a photography enthusiast. Every day he clicks photographs of butterflies and plants and all of that. I'm sure. I just wanted to connect you both on that.
And I started butterfly photograph on request of my daughter. Ki Papa, ye butterfly aati kahan se hai? So one day I saw one butterfly laying egg on a leaf. That is the red Helen butterfly.
And you clicked that moment?
No, I clicked that moment. I put a net around it so that no predator can eat it. And finally, I photographed the entire life cycle of that butterfly.
Wow.
And I showed it to my daughter. And finally, when that butterfly came, I'm talking the history of maybe around 15, 16 years back. My daughter was just 3-year-old. So when that butterfly come in the early morning out of the pupa, so I put it on a red, ki dekho beta, this is just like a clip. And that photograph I still cherish. So likewise, I do it for my satisfaction. I'm not a wildlife photographer. I'm not a technical expert. But yeah, I can compose. In my early days, I used to do painting and calligraphy. So I can compose good photograph that I can think. But if I am a very good wildlife photographer, I decide.
I have also come to know that you also have very deep love for languages, linguistics.
No, it's not like that, because I born in Jharkhand. So I know I born in Jharkhand, then I studied my up to schooling days and part of college life I spent in Ranchi. Then I shifted to Delhi. Then I was allotted to the Karnataka cadre. In Karnataka also, Kannada was an alien language. Then I learned Kannada. Then I was posted in Mangalore and Coorg. There they use the different language like Kurgi and Tulu. Some part Konkani. So it's not that instead of avoiding it, grieving it, I cannot control the external. Likewise, I told just few minutes before that things which are not under my control. If you can only converse with me in Kannada. I cannot control you and I cannot force you to learn Hindi or English. So it's better that it is in my control to learn Kannada. So I started learning. That's why I learned.
Wonderful. Great outlook.
No, it's not outlook. It's just a...
It's a very smart self-development to navigate your own way through life, right? I mean, I wish people were knew that becoming flexible and making yourself flex is actually a smart move for one's own self.
It is already invented. We don't... Of late, people stop reading books and other things.
Yeah.
If you read the Meditation of Marcus, I forgot that Greek philosopher. He has written already maybe 5,000, 6,000 years back. And you know that serenity principle of Bible.